Royal Table Talk. My name is Latoya Conway Hampton, and I am your host. And today I have a guest here that I really want to celebrate. Now, let me give you a backstory. Maybe about 4 months ago, I had the pleasure and the opportunity to watch her graduate from college. And oh my goodness, there was a point in time, everybody's wearing the same thing, but she had these shoes on, so I just had to watch feet walk around because it was really hard to keep up with who she was with all of those probably 1,200 people that was graduating. But I'm honored to be supportive to her, and today she's going to share her experience, strength, and hope. Now, to be honest and to be clear, there is a lot of things that she hasn't shared, and there is a lot of things that she has shared. So with that being said, I want to introduce my helper, Miss Chelsy.
Hello.
How are you, darling?
I'm doing good.
Tell me what brought you to Two Lifestyles.
Okay. What brought me to Two Lifestyles is, I want to say, my dysfunction that I had going on in my life at the time. I went through a lot with the child's dad, and I wasn't healthy, and I was like, I had blinders on, like I was blind to my own toxicity. I was blind to what I was doing as well, to be a part of it, and how I got into the cycle, and I needed to get help.
So that's a little bit about your journey. So right now you're a mother of a beautiful son. I have to tell you, he sung me happy birthday. It was so precious. And then he smiled at the end. It was so amazing.
That's his favorite song.
That's his favorite song? What are some of the hurdles you had to cross based on growing up, what you went through, and where you are now?
Okay. Well, I'm 27 years old now. I'm pretty proud at where I am in life right now. I always knew early on, kind of things go by quick, and I always thought about being 18. Like when I was younger, I was like, I can't wait till I'm 18. Like I want to be 18. And then I got 18 and I'm like, oh, this is what 18 is like. You're grown and everything is on you, and a lot more responsibility. So your question was my hurdles.
Yeah, what are some of the hurdles you had to cross?
Being a youth at the time, when I was a youth, I had to go through my adolescence age, and just mood swings, being a girl, understanding myself, my body, my worth, at a very young age. I always was brought up Christian with God and everything like that, but I did not walk in it. I didn't live in it. I didn't live and walk in my purpose. And yeah, my parents told me the right things, go to church, praise God is first, and value yourself, value your body. Your body's a temple. But I don't know. I didn't see it. I heard it, but I didn't see it. So I just took my own path, and I got a little reckless at a young age, and did a lot of risky behavior, and that was a hurdle.
So, being in a lot of trouble as a youth, where do you think things went awry for you? At what point did you feel like, okay, I need to figure this out?
Yeah. I want to say, we always have that vision of, how we want our lives to look. I don't know, I had my vision of how I wanted to be a, businesswoman. What did I want to do? I think at a very young age, I wanted to be a teacher. I still do. I still kind of have that dream to be a teacher. I wanted to always go to college. As soon as I was 18, I checked into college. I didn't finish till about a couple months ago, 4 months ago.
You still went.
I still went, and I'm proud of that. But I tried to plan my life, but I feel like poverty, not having that much stability, and then my parents, they didn't have stability either for me to live with them. So homelessness, I went through that, and I guess not knowing myself. Did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You did, because it's your answer, and it's okay.
Okay.
I think a lot of times You mentioned about being a young girl and kind of doing your own thing. I remember I was 12 years old, hanging out with gang members, and it was a Thursday afternoon. One girl got assaulted by the gang members. One of the guys that we lived with, but it was a set of them. It was 6 of them. And they were friends, and they raped this girl and shoved a bottle in her vagina and messed her up pretty bad. But it was right behind her house. And when you talk about that risky, reckless behavior, 2 days later, I went and hung out with them and thought that I was different. Until they drugged me in and did the same thing, with the exception of cutting me with a bottle. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you're such a young girl, you really don't understand that you have to make healthier choices. But as you mentioned, I hear it, but I need to see it. So as mothers and women, it's our responsibility to go back and help the young girls see some things that they may not get to see at home with their parents.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's important. I really believe that that's so important. Does it take a lot of time out of your life? It does, but love and support makes the world go around, and you have to be selfless, and it's not always about us. We'll have our turn, but it's not always about us.
I like that point that you also made, that you thought that you were different, because I thought that I was different or above certain situations too. And I'll put myself in the same line of fire. But I'm like, it's not going to happen to me because, you know, I'm cute, or they like me, or I'm different. And the same results happen if you're playing with the line, if you're playing with, what is that saying? If you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
If you're engaging in drinking and you're not, you know, watching yourself or watching your back, and you're not aware of even the people that you're really with, they don't really know you. You're just first time, you know, hanging out with them, and you think that, you know, you could let your guard down like that. Oh, I'm different, or whatever the case may be. Like, you can set yourself up for a lot of life-changing situations. Like, a lot of our decisions we make, they're in a temporary moment, but they have permanent impact.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're so young to know that already.
Yeah, I know. I've had 2 children. Permanent impact. No, not just the kids, but
it makes sense. It does. It's the maturity from motherhood. But even I've worked with women that's so much older and mature and still don't get it.
Who we connect ourselves to, like, you know what I learned too with the second dad, is I attached myself to him so quick. I jumped right into it. I didn't take my time. And I realized, like, who I attached myself with, I didn't see, like, this is the person I'm going to be attached to for the next 18 years. My son, you know, because we share a son together. And, like, my temporary decision costed me, you know, this permanent impact and this whatever he came with, you know what I'm saying? All the trauma he came with, all the demons he had on his back. Like, you don't really realize sometimes who you're attaching yourself to until you realize it.
That's right.
Like, I realize people come with baggage. I come with baggage. You know what I'm saying? So we connect ourselves
with people. You just reminded me of a conversation I had with another person earlier today on another call, is that making sure that we are aware of who's on our front row. Everybody don't get to sit on your front row. And you attach yourself with, as you mentioned, I just had this conversation, you attach yourself with these people, and then they're doing things inappropriate, and it's just wearing out on you, right? And you also mentioned something that's like like soul stirring. When you get around certain people that's not positive, they're doing negative, they slowly drain you down. They drain you down, and before you know it, you're doing the same thing that they're doing. Right?
You're no different.
Yeah. You're right there.
You're right there with them.
Right there.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest lesson about attaching yourself with unhealthy people?
My biggest lesson was, like I said, they come with trauma. They come with their own demons. They come with their own baggage. And I have to know, like how what I learned too is from going to church. Like, the preacher, he's up there. He can't cast out demons, but he uses his platform, and he uses God, obviously, to heal people. Everybody doesn't do, like, some people are going up there for help. Some people are going up there to get prayed for. Some people can't pray for other people, and some people cannot. Right? So what I realized with attaching myself to other people, is that I'm not meant to save everybody. I'm not meant to cast out every demon from every, person I run into. Like, sometimes you're just meant to, like, give inspiration to somebody. Sometimes you're just meant to be an example. Sometimes you're just meant to let somebody vent to you. I don't know.
Which makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Because the people that you are around, if they need you, they can't help you. That makes sense? People that need you are not who you need. Because they need you.
Yes.
That makes sense?
We're both sick. We're both in the hospital.
I can't help you.
We both need to see a doctor. We're both here for
we need somebody else, right?
Yes.
But there are relationships and friendships where I have a friend, I can call her and vent to her all the time, but she never talked to me about anything that goes on in her life. It's like she's my friend. But she go to somebody else and share what she got.
Yeah.
I'm not her friend. We're friends, but I'm not her friend. And I have to learn to separate the two.
I like that.
It's like, I can come to you. So when I talk to her, it's like, she had cancer. I try to be there for her. I love her to death. But she don't ever come to me with like, well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that, as two friends will.
Right.
When I call her, she always wants to help me with something. So to her, I'm somebody that needs her versus being a friend.
Yeah.
So when you're attaching yourself to these people, you have to realize that the people that you want in your life and your space is that you can give and take.
Yes.
You need them, they need you. It's a process.
Understand the roles in relationships. I remember they always said, like, you have your constituents, you have your, what is other ones?
I don't know what methodology you're using, but I know what you're talking about.
But you have your associates, your constituents, you have, like, everybody has a role and a place. And I think if we start just like not at first, like the first love, first sight thing, please stop it.
That ain't even real.
Stop it now.
Because if you love me when you see me, you probably looking at my face or my body or something.
Yes.
But if you love me after you know me, then you might be looking a little deeper.
Yeah, exactly. So just because you meet a person doesn't mean that they're your dream guy. Like, maybe they look good, maybe they have great teeth, maybe they have something about them that you think is just but that doesn't mean that they're meant to stick around. We need to vet.
Yes. Tell me, how would you vet today? Now that you
How would I vet today with a healthier mindset that I have now, and what I've learned from 2 lifestyles and just what I've gained as being a woman, over my years. I would definitely vet not with my heart. I would vet with my mind.
Okay.
I would vet with my
That's a plus.
Common sense. I would vet with my morals, my values, and I would make sure that whoever I align myself with is going to honor those things and, be an addition, like I said to you before, like be an addition to my life, not not bringing me down.
Right.
Yeah.
I also want to say, use the guy pie chart.
The guy pie.
Girl, look at here.
We need to have that chart up.
We're going to have it for the symposium. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure we get it in the groups. Absolutely. We want to make sure that we know what we're looking for in a relationship. But more importantly, we have to know what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you bring to the table, you don't know your worth.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. That's such a good example, too. And speaking of, like, my hurdles and stuff, that's one of my hurdles was that, like I said before, I was really in love with somebody at a time. I really cared about this person, but I wasn't healthy. I wasn't able to give them back what they were giving me.
Right.
I was just tearing down. I was just destructive. I was just like, I didn't see the value of the love. I loved that person. Like, in my heart, I feel like I loved them, and I cried for so long and went through the boo-boo hoo-hoo tears and all that, but I didn't know how to treat them.
Why do you think that's so?
I didn't know how to treat them. I think it's because I didn't know, I didn't know myself. I definitely felt like at a very young age, like I didn't know myself. And I was with this person from 18 to like 20. So that very early stage where you're just,
getting out of parental guidance.
Yeah, exactly. But
we kind of buck out in them days.
We buck out, yeah. And sometimes we buck out with our significant others, or whoever's in our circle will buck out at them, and we lose a lot of people and friends because our youth, our anger, or whatever the case may be, we're taking it out on people.
We normally take it out on the people who are the closest to us, right?
Yeah.
I think growing up, by the time I was 19, I had I had already had 3 children and lost one, so I had 4 kids by the time I was 19 years old. And I think that I didn't have a chance to grow up. But once my kids got removed and I was 29 years old, that 2.5 years as total was enough time for me to figure out who I am, what I like, what I need, where to go, how to go, when to go. I mean, those simple, basic things that should have been instilled in me growing up at home.
Yeah.
I got it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I only got it because I was in treatment. Somebody took the time to teach me that, which I was so excited to see her a couple days ago at the movie theater. She walked out the door and I knew just who she was. Amazing woman. Oh my God. Amazing woman. She an old streetwalker. And that lady would tell us stories and really helped me tune into a lot of things about myself. And that's who I want to be for the women that I get to serve, because all the way until today, I know her the way she looked, the way she walked. I know her like crazy. And I stood in front of her. She had all of her kids around her and somebody, and I seen her. And then I just got in front of her and I just stopped and I looked at her. And so she walking, and when she touched eyes with me, she said, "Did I do something wrong to you?" She didn't know who I was. And then I just kept looking at her. Then I seen her kids. They was like sizing me up. They big kids. They all going around like they was about to rat pack me, right? Because I'm staring at their mama. So I said, "Latoya Conway Hampton." And she said, "Oh my God." And she hugged me. That hug made me cry. Yeah. Because I was able to tell her stuff that no one knew about me. I was able to tell stuff to her that she brought back to me and linked it with her own story that made sense to me, where nobody else could reach me.
Yeah. It's so good when you have those people in your life that sometimes nobody else can reach you, but they can. And I've had the opportunity, and thankful to God that He's brought me so many older women to come into my life and to pour into me. And I received it. I received it. Like, a lot of times it's hard sometimes for young women to get poured into and receive it because they don't want to receive it. But I was blessed to have that, and I still think of that lady to this day. Like, she literally helped me through my 20s. Like,
thank God for her. Huh?
I thank God, and for you, and for the other women that I'm, now from church. Like, I'm always. You're never too old to grow. You're never too, above. Like you say, you never reach that place. Right. You can always be poured into. You can always learn. You can always grow, and that's how I see life. And I'm gonna continue to see it that way, so that I can always gain more knowledge and. Gain, so maybe some lessons I don't have to actually go through.
I know that's right.
Like, that's the point I'm at in my life right now. It's like, I don't want to go through any more. I just want to hear and listen and understand and not have to go through that hurdle.
And be all right,
Be all right, yeah.
I think you already all right. What does your new life look like now?
My new life looks like, can I be honest? Probably, I feel like, well, I'm not with the Father right now, but I feel like in the future, I will probably work with Him, and I'm praying for co-parenting. I'm praying for my son to have a normal life, because my new life is my son. He's 2 years old, and he's my everything, and I want to give him the best life. I want him to see a healthy mom and a healthy dad, if that can be. But if that can't be, then he'll just see a very healthy mom.
That's right. I'll take that.
Yeah.
How do you stay grounded? Consider all that you've been through and all that you're going through. How do you stay grounded and rooted?
Yeah, I pray. I definitely take what I've learned from 2 lifestyles and my classes seriously. I humble myself. I work out. Is that a way to ground yourself?
It is. That's the grounding technique.
Yeah. I
exercise.
Put an exercise, I stay active and I work, and I'm saving, so just save. And
good job.
Save for the future.
Save for the future. So if you can say something to a young girl who is 15 years old, her mama get on her nerves, guy down the street look handsome, what would you tell her?
Stay at home. Don't leave. It doesn't get any better. Sometimes we think going outside of our parents or going outside that like safety nest that we have. Like there's something different on the other side. There's something bigger. There's something better. But most times it's not, and we're not prepared for it. One, not mentally, not mature enough for it. And, work with what God's giving you. Because sometimes when we walk outside of what God wants us to have, we're trying to take too much. We're being greedy.
But when you're talking to youth that don't understand a healthy connection with God, because growing up, I believed in God, but I believed in my grandmother's God. And I had to have my own connection with God in order for me to really understand what God stands for. It was not until I was laying in the bed in the house about to deliver a child and my mother was gone, and I just kept saying, God, please don't let me die, because I was given in labor and I didn't know what was going on with my body. So mom's gone, like, Lord, please don't let me die. And then when my son died, I felt like God was the only one that I could talk to. You know what I mean? The smallest one, another one passed, but that particular one is when I realized that I had to have my own relationship with God. I can't use grandma's God. My dad at that time didn't believe in God, and my mother, heaven knows, her man was her God. So how would you give it to a child who don't believe in God? Because you and I have an understanding of God, but we're talking to the youth girl that may be sitting in the listening or sitting in the audience where we are today and don't understand how to build a relationship with God. Let me ask a different question. What was your stepping stones to building a relationship with God?
I definitely had to go through some hardships, and I had to call on Him when I had nothing else. I use God, like they say, sometimes we use God, or Christians use Him as a 911 emergency. And don't wait till you get to that. Like, as I got older, I realized, like, don't wait till I get to the 911 emergency. Like, use Him in your regular everyday life. Journal, write.
In our closing, I want to do this. I appreciate you in so many different aspects.
Thank you.
For one is your desire to be open. Because I remember when you got your son back, and it was a little rough for you at first, and everybody is trying to give you feedback, and you just said, that was it. You didn't complain, like, that's my son, who you think you are. You didn't do any of that. You just took it in, took a breath, and now you're doing things differently. That's amazing. It really is. So you may not be celebrating you, but I'm celebrating you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you keep trudging and complete this process, because remember, before you enter to the next phase of your development, you got to complete where you are. You got to it has to come to completion. If you could say something to someone out there, hey girl, say hi. If you can say something to someone out there, what would you say? What would you tell her?
I would tell her that she's beautiful just the way she is. I would tell her to believe in herself. I would tell her that she doesn't need to change for the world. She doesn't need to change for society, the standards, or any trends that are going on. I would tell her to just be herself, or himself, and that they are perfectly made just the way they are.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for saying yes, and thank you so much for blessing my guests with your honor. My name is Latoya Conway Hampton, and I'm your host.
3, 2, 1, action.